Hello everyone, this is Latha Akula. In our previous videos, we have studied about different characters exhibited by the monera, and now we'll see the second kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. So we have studied that in the three kingdom system of classification, Ernest Haeckel, he introduced kingdom Protista. So the word Protista was coined by Ernest Haeckel. So these Protistans are unicellular forms. That means their cell is made up of single cell. Their body is made up of single cell. Excuse me. These are the connecting links between monera and other three remaining kingdoms. What are the three kingdoms? Plants, fungi and animals. These Protistans are called as ancestors for the plants, fungi and animals also. You see the general characters of kingdom Protista. These are unicellular, means body is made up of single cell, and the cell is eukaryotic. Eukaryotic means they consist of all the cell organelles, that is the nucleus is surrounded by nuclear membrane and consists of remaining cell organelles like lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, all are present, which are absent in prokaryotes. These are colonial. Some of the Protistants, they may be lived in groups, forms colonies, hence they are colonial. Here the tissue level of organization is absent because these are unicellular. Hence there is no formation of tissues, hence tissue level of organization is absent. These are aquatic, lives in water, and they exhibit 80S type of ribosomes. We know that prokaryotes have 70S type of ribosomes and eukaryotes have 80S type of ribosomes. These are eukaryotes, hence they have 80S type of ribosomes. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. And flagella also, they exhibits 9+2 arrangement. If you transversely cut the flagella and observe, they consist of microtubule arrangement, that is in the peripheral there are 9 pairs of rings which are not joined, and in the centrally there is one pair of rings which are not joined. That arrangement is called as 9+2 arrangement. This I have already discussed in the monera, the flagella structure. So it is made up of tubulin protein. The flagella is made up of tubulin protein, and flagella exhibits 9+2 arrangement. That is, prokaryotes flagella exhibits 9+2 arrangement, and in prokaryotes 9+2 arrangement is absent. In eukaryotes flagella 9+2 arrangement is present. So the locomotory organelles. Locomotory organelles means the organelles which helps in the locomotion or for the movement. The locomotory organelles are pseudopodia. In amoeba, the locomotory organelles are called as pseudopodia. Flagella. Some have the flagella as a locomotory organelle. Cilia. Cilia are the small hair-like structures which are present all over the body. Pseudopodia means false feet. So these are the locomotory organelles. In all these three, ciliary mode of movement is very fast when compared to these three locomotory organelles. And these, if you see the nutrition, these are photosynthetic. That means they can prepare their own food material. Some are holozoic. Holozoic means they engulf the food. Some are saprobic or parasitic. Some of the organisms dependent on the decomposed organic matter, or some may cause disease to other organisms. That means parasitic life. And some of the organisms like the euglena, they exhibit mixotrophic nutrition. Here what happens is, actually when there is a light is present, these euglena, they perform photosynthesis and make their food material. If the light is absent, then this will opt saprobic mode of nutrition. That is, it exhibits two kinds of nutrition, hence it is mixotrophic, which is exhibited by euglena. Reproduction is asexual or sexual mode of reproductions, and some of the parasitic forms, they cause diseases in human beings like dysentery. Dysentery is caused by entamoeba histolytica. Malaria, we know that malaria is also caused by protozoan called plasmodial parasite. And sleeping sickness is caused by trypanosoma species. Like this, there are some protozoa, some protists, they cause diseases to the human beings. If you see, if we classify these protista, we can classify this protista depending upon their nutrition. Some of the protistans are autotrophic, that means they can prepare their own food material. Example for those autotrophic or photosynthetic protistans are diatoms, dinoflagellates and euglenoids. And some protistans, they dependent on the decomposed organic matter. So they include slime molds. They include slime molds. There are two types of slime molds, like cellular and acellular slime molds are included in this decomposer protistans. And some protistans are parasitic, that means protozoans are the parasitic only. Examples: zooflagellates, sarcodines, porozoans and ciliates are included in this. So these are the three groups of protista. That is, first one is the autotrophic, which prepare their own food material, which perform photosynthesis. Some are decomposers, which are slime molds, and some are the parasitic, which include protozoans. The first one is autotrophic or photosynthetic protistans. If you see the photosynthetic protistans, they are also called as protistan algae. What is another name of the photosynthetic protistans? They are also called as protistian algae. So here these form the they form the plankton on the surface of the water. If you see in the rainy season, if you observe when the rivers are ponds, we can see that green colored layer all over the water. The green colored layer is called as plankton. That plankton is formed by some algae and protistans. So in that plankton, the major portion is occupied by these photosynthetic protistans. So these photosynthetic protistans, they include, we have taken some examples like diatoms, dinoflagellates and euglenoids. The first example is diatoms, that is present in our syllabus. That is, diatoms, dinoflagellates and euglenoids are present. The first one is the diatoms. Diatoms are golden brown in color. What is the color of the diatoms? Golden brown color. These are photosynthetic protists. So these are called as chrysophytes. What are the other name of the diatoms? This is then called as chrysophytes. These chrysophytes includes diatoms and desmites. So we'll study only diatoms here. These are aquatic. Some in the dampy areas, they can also live on the terrestrial habits, and some are present in the marine water. So these are microscopic, that means they are very minute forms. So these are unicellular, some are colonial forms, and flagella is absent only in the reproductive stage. That means in sexual reproduction there may be some motile cells are present. So in that condition, for the motility, the flagella will be formed. So these protistans, they float on the surface of water by means of, the cell consists of some lightweight oil filled vacuoles are present. Because of those oil filled vacuoles, they float on the surface. We know that when we pour any oil on the surface of the water, it forms a layer on the surface and that will not dissolve in it. That means, like that, here also in for these protistans, these lightweight lipids helps in the floating of these organisms. That is, for buoyancy. Buoyancy is exhibited by these organisms by using lightweight lipids. To say the cell wall of these organisms, they consist of transparent silicaceous shells are present, which are made up of silica. These transparent silicaceous shells are called as frustules. These shells are called as frustules. There are two frustules are present. One is present above the other. The upper one is called as epitheca, which is present above it, and the lower one is called as hypotheca. It is just like a soap box. So epi means upon, hypo means below. Okay, epi, if you see, it is just like a soap box. For example, this is hypotheca. If it is epitheca, epitheca is covering the hypotheca. Like this, the cell walls are present one above the other in diatoms. If you see the symmetry of these organisms, some of the organisms, they show pennate type or bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means what? If we take one organism it is transversely cut, each divided into two equal halves, that is called as bilateral symmetry, which is exhibited by navicula. And some of the organisms exhibits the centric type or radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means if we take the starfish, from the central we can divide it into like this. This type of symmetry is called as radial or centric type of symmetry, which is exhibited by Melocera. This is Melocera. Next, cell walls have two halves, that is epitheca and hypotheca, which is one is present above the other like a soap box. This is very important one. This is the characteristic feature of the diatom. The cell wall is the characteristic feature of the diatoms. And if you see these cells, some of the diatoms cells, they exhibit primordial utrical. Primordial utrical means the cell wall is covering the encloses a peripheral cytoplasm. This peripheral cytoplasm, it is present only in the periphery regions, and there is a large central vacuole is present. This peripheral cytoplasm is called as primordial utricle, and here the nucleus is present here somewhere. This type of cytoplasm is called as primordial utricle. Primordial utricle condition is seen in the diatoms, and these are autotrophic. We know that they prepare their own food material by means of photosynthesis. For the photosynthesis, what it requires some photosynthetic pigments, right? The pigments are, it consists of chlorophyll A, C, beta carotenes, fucoxanthines, xanthophylls like ditoxanthin and diadinoxanthins are present. What are the pigments? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, beta carotene, and additionally fucoxanthin is also present, and some of the xanthophylls like dioxanthin and diadinoxanthins are present in the cells for the photosynthesis. The reserve food materials were stored in the body in the form of oil and polysaccharide. So that forms are called as leucosin or chrysolaminarin. Okay, the structures which store oil and polysaccharides are called as leucosin and chrysolaminarin. And in this, the volutin granules are also present. In Monera, we have studied the volutin granules, that is, if they store excess of phosphate reserves, they are called as volutin granules. If you see the reproduction, sexual and asexual mode of reproductions are seen. Asexual mode of reproduction by means of binary fission. In the binary fission, what happens? One cell divides into two. In this division, there are two cell walls are present, right? Two layers of shells are present. The upper part is taken by one daughter cell, and lower part is taken by another cell, and later these cells, the remaining part of the cell wall is prepared by them. That kind of reproduction is exhibited by these diatoms. And sexual mode of reproduction, it may be from syngamy to oogamy. Gamete fusion takes place. In unfavorable conditions, they form some resting spores called as statospore structures are seen. The main important thing is these diatoms, they form diatomaceous earth. This is very important one. Who exhibits diatomaceous earth? Diatoms. What is diatomaceous earth? These diatoms, after their death, the cells are non-destructible. That means they are not degraded, decomposed. They are non-destructible, and all of the cells will be settled at the bottom of the seabed and forms abundant amount of diatom rock-like structures are formed. Those sedimented rock-like structures are called as diatomaceous earth. These diatomaceous earth are mined out from the seawater, and from the white powdery substance is prepared, that is called diatomite or kieselguhr or diatomaceous earth. What is the white powder prepared from the diatomaceous earth is called diatomite or kieselguhr. This, by using this white powder, they prepare some filter-like structures. Those filters are used in the brewing industry. Brewing industry means alcohol, fruit juices industries. and in sugar refineries these filters are used, and these diatomaceous earth is also used in the polishing industry for polishing metals. By using this diatomaceous earth, some of the bricks, insulating bricks are made for the houses and some soundproof soundproofs are also made for houses by using this diatomaceous earth. This is the importance of diatomaceous earth. What is diatomaceous earth? The atoms after their death settle at the bottom and forms a rock-like structure, diatomaceous bed, which is called as diatomaceous bed, which is mined out and made into a white powder. That white powder is which we call it as diatomite or kieselguhr. By using that, filters are made, bacterial filters are made, which are used in brewing industry, sugarcane refineries, and some of them are used for the polishing the metals and for making the insulating bricks. For all this diatomaceous earth is used, and these diatoms are the good indicators of water pollution. If there is any much nutrients or waste materials are excessively present in the water, the diatoms grow better. That indicates, if these diatoms grow very well in that water, that indicates that water is highly polluted. Okay, like that we can these can indicate the water pollution. Examples for these diatoms are Triceratium, Melocera, Navicula and Cimbella are the main examples for these diatoms. And the next one is dinoflagellates. The next video will study about dinoflagellates and euglenoid structures.